Know when you're sad and you want to get a little bit more sad and you just cry some more. Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Virtual Riot and Barely Alive, Head to Head Volume 1. This is a new collection from two of the very biggest and best in the modern dubstep game, Virtual Riot and Barely Alive, both of whom have been pretty quiet on the release front in this new decade so far. Virtual Riot dropping nothing before this EP in 2020, and Barely Alive only featuring on a couple of collaborations. Not forgetting also, though, their remix for Phase 1, which I found quite the odd tune for them in many ways. But here we are with this new project. I want to say a collab EP, but of course that is exactly what Head to Head Volume 1 isn't. What we have here is a smattering of VIPs, variations in production, on their own originals, two each here. Something to seemingly tide over into new original music from both of them, which feels imminent at this point. You know, you can't imagine they haven't been creative in this lockdown period. But many listens in now, would I say that Head to Head Volume 1 scratches the Virtual Riot and Barely Alive itch? Is it a worthwhile stopgap? Kind of, but not really. This EP definitely has its moments, but for the most part, I wouldn't say these VIPs add much to their originals at all, seeming short and unfulfilled to the point that I feel like I shouldn't be taking them too seriously. The epitome of this is the opener, Virtual Riot's Pray for RIDDIM VIP. A bit of a damp squib in light of the epic original it comes from. I love how he kept the introduction virtually the same, you know, Knife Party did that with their Internet Friends VIP. And it's just a massive shame there have been no shows in the last half year or so, because as Knife Party showed, it's a great way to start a set and surprise a crowd. You can imagine people's faces when the vocal samples are slightly different, you know, being lured in, and then suddenly you realise, shit, it's a VIP, and I remember that watching Knife Party live, and in many ways it's what a VIP should do. You know, just in a crowd, enjoying Pray for RIDDIM.
You having that big mouth while it's still attached to your bloody neck.
Oh shit! Shit! VIP! So yeah, the opening, not a lot of change, but clever, but following that, it just doesn't really do the original justice. The first drop here is manic and beastly, great production overall, but there isn't an idea shining through to get into, I wouldn't say, and the weakness of the first snare in the heaviness kinda ruins the impact of it following the introduction. The double drop is definitely more engaging and together and clearer with its idea, sharp, pointy delivery.
Let's do this again.
But it ends up becoming a bit aimless with its progression, a feeling of overstaying its welcome by the end of that drop. We then get the Barely Alive VIP of Wampum, another example here of very good production, but not particularly special ideas. Introduction again here, very similar to the original, just a bit extended, which is fine, and sonically this is vintage Barely Alive, you know, powerful sound, tripling dubstep, growls and snarls and belches flying off everywhere. But yeah, no idea really grabbing me here. It's full throttle and insistent, but not memorable per se. Very decent, you know, like the Virtual Riot before it, and the ones after it as well. In the grand context of dubstep, it's pretty fantastic. But for them, I'm in no way sat here thinking, well shit, that was a mad creative take on the original. Nah. Following that, we have the Cry Some More VIP from Virtual Riot, the first half of which I feel just does hardly anything at all. With that main vocal sample, he had such a chance for drastic change, big improvement on that original, but for the first half here, like the original itself, next to nothing happens on the ideas front. It's so inactive. An approach he's dabbled in a fair bit the last couple of years, that chunky, metallic, rhythmy dubstep, produced really well, no doubt, but no flavour, no invention, empty sounding, and it does his overall style and talent a massive disservice, I think. In the second half of the cut, however, we do get, for me, the best moment on the whole EP. The second drop generally is far brighter, the transition into it isn't great, but so much more flavoursome and lively that we kinda let that slide. But there's a little section here that is one of my favourites of the whole year so far, and for what it is, it's perfectly executed, and it's him in full flow, and I'm not going to bother explaining it beyond that. I won't do it justice. I'm just going to let the music do the talking. You ready? So good. And that actually leads into another great moment on the EP, running that one a very close second, that being the introduction to the final cut on the project here, Barely Alive's Odyssey VIP. If you really think about it, there's only one way they could have opened up a VIP of a futuristic track called Odyssey, and that is with a Barely Alive version of the 2001 Space Odyssey theme, which is exactly what they go for here, and pretty much perfectly. Fits well as a grand opening before the original introduction kicks in. The musicality is tops, it's clever, it's well managed as well, and somehow they made it sound like a final countdown tribute as well in the process, so very here for it. Yeah! Also, by the way, shout out Mr. Galley75 on the Discord for reminding me of where that epic sequence comes from. The extension of the original introduction here, plus the fake out as well, are worthwhile developments, I think. Again, a thing of very similar but slightly different, in many ways exactly what a VIP should be. But the heaviness once more, I honestly can't find myself saying anything other than that it's okay. It's fine. In many ways, classic Barely Alive sound again, good touches on display, the note placement and production quality are great. But the ideas, bit lackluster, uninspired, don't grab you, which is unfortunately quite a fitting way to end Head to Head Volume 1. Again, very decent, but I'm not like... And when I do get to the end of this EP each time, I'm left thinking on the one hand, they've both done incredible VIPs before, Preset Junkies, Lost It for Virtual Riot, you know, Spitball, Dead Link for Barely Alive, and more. And these simply do not compare in terms of taking an original to a new level. But then on the other, I think, well, it is just a stopgap to new original material from them. A reminder they're keeping active with making music. And all of a sudden, I feel a bit weird for taking these tracks too seriously. These VIPs don't feel to me personally like that much has gone into them. But then they're just VIPs, you know, compared to original music. Do they matter anywhere near as much? These are short-lived cuts that don't add much to their originals or unleash them in a particularly new way. The noteworthy moments here are just a couple in my eyes, hardly anything really getting me off my seat here. But as a quick injection of their respective sounds to fill a gap, the EP serves its purpose, I think. It won't go down in the annals of great dubstep projects, of course, but seeing them releasing, hearing their production again after a short while, it's nice, I can't lie. The kind of music these guys make in their sleep, you know, this collection could even be seen as a way of conserving energy and holding back and saving up for the original stuff, the solo stuff, which, as mentioned, feels imminent. Important, I think, also to say that Virtual Riot in particular has made us aware of the problems he's gone through, the depression he's endured during the COVID period. Many have been just putting out music fine, but people experience things differently and work in different ways, you know, not least through a global pandemic, which most people haven't gone through before. In many ways, the fact that music is here at all, from him and Barely Alive and anyone really, we should be grateful for. Yeah, these could have been far more adventurous. I'm left somewhat underwhelmed by these 4 cuts for what they are. Yeah, at the same time, it's just a cool concept, a bit of fun to fill space, and not something I think we should take as seriously as original material. You know, the fact they're so short and simple is perhaps a sign for how they want us to treat them. At the end of the day, they're just VIPs, you know, if this was solo stuff, I may be a little bit worried, but I'm not at all, which I think tells you all you need to know. Now, in terms of my favourite here, then you will know if you check my Best of Bass playlist every week. But yeah, Wampum VIP, for me, felt the most together and coherent of the 4. And for recommendations, if you did enjoy the EP, then recent Virtual Riot and Barely Alive. That is all there is to it. But there we have it. My thoughts on the new EP from Virtual Riot and Barely Alive, Head to Head Volume 1. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. But what did you guys make of the EP? Do you have a favourite cut of the 4? I'm sure you do. Drop all of your views, thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video to the channel, and my social media accounts and the Discord server are linked below. And if you want to find some other EP reviews on the channel, I will link them right here. But beyond that, keep it naughty. If it's naughty, then you know, and I will see all of you legends in the next one. Peace.